Good morning everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna and I like to make Genshin content. So this is something I should have done like a while ago. Like I should have been done this, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But today I'm going to show you guys my daily farming schedule. So typically I do the schedule, if I have to be honest, pretty much every day unless I'm like lazy, but I typically keep to the schedule as much as I can. I do this pretty much on every like account besides my two mains, which is my like European main with my Navia and everything, and then my American main with my Nouvellette. But on my Pulse Decide account I do this, on my free-to-play account I do this, on my Chiodi account I do this, and this is just to make sure that I keep up with everything and to make sure I don't waste all of my materials and to keep up with like what I've done and how much I've collected and everything like that. Now you can follow the schedule if you want to, you don't have to, but this is just what I do in order to make sure that I keep my characters leveled up the way they are, or to make sure I have an abundance of materials for my characters. Now in this video, what I'm going to go over, what I typically do is I always start with my commissions first, then I use my resin, I work on my reputation assuming that the week has reset. I also will do any like weekly bosses and stuff like that, and then I will do exploration and farming, and then I would do my quest if I wanted to do some quests in between doing videos. So without further ado, we're going to actually start out with the commissions. So it is a brand new day, so I can do my commissions. I also should include in there that if it is available, then I will also do the events. Now I have already pretty much completed this event already. I mean, granted I could continue to go, but also it has not increased to 700 yet, so I couldn't if I wanted to. But I've already pretty much completed this event up to my standards for the Primo Gems. I've also already completed the Aphid Treasure Trace event as well. So in terms of events, I don't have any events to do. But in the instance that I did, then I would also put that in the daily schedule to do the events too. But again, to start out, we are going to do our commissions. You want to make it a habit to do your commissions every single day, even though you're only going to get 60 Primo Gems, because doing it every day for a whole month, it does add up, especially if you're waiting for a specific character. You guys haven't seen it yet, but I'm not gonna lie, this will probably go up before any other video, but I haven't posted any of my other free-to-play videos yet. I have 3 that need to be edited, and I'm probably gonna record a 4th, but basically I got Heizo at the end of the 3rd video, and I was complaining about how I was going to get the Inazuma, and as you can saw, I did make it to Inazuma without doing the story quest. But we're just going to start out with commissions, as we always should. Again, make it a habit to do your commissions every day, because it adds up, like, especially if you're not getting like the welcome or anything, which again, if you're not familiar with this account I'm playing on, this is my free-to-play account. This one I'm not spending any money whatsoever. I also put a couple of challenge rules to it too. And so basically the rules of this challenge are to, it's not so much the challenge of not spending money, the challenge is I have to use every character I get. I can't, if I lose the 50-50 on like a limited character banner, I can't use money to get the character that I want. And then I have to get 100 exploration on everything. I have to prioritize quests. I have to do pretty much like exhaust every single little thing in this game that we have available to us right now. When it comes to doing that quest, you want to just basically purely only focus on destroying the thingies. What are they called? I don't even know what those are called, but you want to focus on destroying those. Like, you don't want to bother fighting the other enemies unless you need the materials, but nah. I mean, you can get materials from so many other things. I tend to really not like the quests that require me to like talk to people. So if I have like an event available, then the events are actually good for really good for gaining the what you can do now, where you can go into the, if you do like exploration or events or anything, you can actually earn, I guess, like adventure points or something. I can't remember what they're particularly called, but they can actually replace doing the commissions for the day instead of you having to do the commissions and like run around and stuff like that. And I don't like ones that require me to talk to people and run back and forth between people and all this other kind of stuff, because I feel like it just takes too long. I prefer to just like fight things and then move on to the next commission and fight this other thing or anything like that. And so if you have an event and it pretty much, like, say it's like an event that only opens up daily and you end up getting the encounter points stage rewards, then I would definitely like take the opportunity. This is what I did this the other day, but I was playing that co-op event and I managed to get probably about 2.5 of the encounter stage points. So I got 2 of the present boxes and then I was halfway through the 3rd one, and I simply ended up just like redeeming the first 2, and then the other 2 commissions I did were the ones that just required me to fight, and then I didn't have to do anything that required me to run and talk to other people. And so if you have that available, I would recommend doing that too, and that's only if you want to. Now if you like the ones where you talk to people and do errands for them, then that's, you know, that's up to you, but I tend to not like those just because those get like really annoying, especially when it's the same ones over and over again. Now I could change my commissions to Liwa, and I think I will. I'm actually just gonna set it to random. I think from one recommendation I've heard is just like, depending on where you need the materials, change your commissions to whatever region it is. So for example, if you need like materials from Inazuma enemies, then you could change it to have commissions in Inazuma, so you're getting a small little bit of Inazuma materials from enemies like each day. And I think that's a good idea, but in my case, as of right now, I only have like commissions for Mondstadt and Liyue opened up, and I don't really care too much about it right this moment, just because I still tend to farm every day anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. I'm still in the early stages of the game that I don't need to be thinking too hard about what I need to do. So with that done, now you can go back to Mondstadt and collect our commissions rewards. Now, the next thing I would do would be my expeditions, but because I played last night and I got on pretty late last night, my expeditions are not done yet. So in this case, if I was, you know, if it was a fresh new day, I hadn't done my expeditions yet, or my expeditions were already completed, and then I finished my commissions, then I would first do my expeditions, as in claiming what I get and then putting my characters back on an expedition, then I would claim my commission rewards. So that's probably the first 2 things that I do every single day. Now, I'm a little weak for ore right now, so another thing that you can incorporate into your daily farming schedule is creating more enhancement ores, but I'm a little weak for them right now and I need to go ore farming, so I'm not going to worry too much about that, but that's something that you should get in the habit of doing too. Since it's a brand new week, if it did reset, this doesn't reset for another 16 hours, so this doesn't reset for another 16 hours for me, so that means Monday. So I would honestly do some of the stuff in the battle pass. So if it's Monday, it's already reset, then I would definitely forge stuff, I would cook stuff, I would do ley lines, I would do domain challenges, whatever I can do, which in that case it's a weekly thing, so of course you'd run out of resin. Now, the next thing that I would do is reputation. Now, the next thing I would do is reputation, and it kind of sucks because it's like there's still a whole other 16 hours before any of this resets. But it doesn't mean you still can't do anything to build your reputation. If you have not completed the world exploration, or in this case, well, I already have as much as I can get because I got up to 60%. I'm at 62%. So if you haven't done your weekly progress, or you haven't done your weekly accept a quest, then I definitely recommend doing them, because that's just reputation rewards that you're missing out on. A good rule of thumb to have is, if you need a reputation in a certain region, only do the reputation for that region, because the thing about reputations stuff is that the weekly progress and the weekly accepted quest, no matter where you accept it, that's gonna be that for the week. So even if you did 2 in Liyue and then 1 in Inazuma, then that's it for the entire week. So I recommend that whichever reputation level that you need, to only do it in that region. So if you need Inazuma, then only do Inazuma, like don't do other regions. In my case, because I've already done everything for the week, then I would probably work on the Mondstadt quest, which these are all pretty much world quests because I've already finished the Archon quest for Mondstadt, and this is like these ones right here that give you 100, and then the rest of them are the ones that give you 20, which end up being like a world quest. Now I can start to do those. There are a bunch of world quests I do have, and this would easily add up. So for example, this is already 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 200, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, that's 300, 2, 4. So that's 340? Yeah, I hope my math's correct. I'm really bad at math. But that's 340 reputation level experience that I could get. It would only bring me up to level 4, but that's still better than nothing. And then the rest of the weeks will be just doing the weekly progress and the weekly acceptor quests. So make it a habit to do your reputation rewards for each region because you do get some pretty good stuff out of it. Like you get a wind glider. In this case, we get an anima treasure compass. So if you're working on 100% completion, they did do a quality of life update. I think it was either this past version, but they did it recently where they actually took you in the direction of the chest. Like it just wouldn't show you the area, it actually takes you in the direction of the treasure chest, and it does help a lot. However, I use the interactive map instead. I don't actually use the treasure compasses because a lot of people would simply just use the treasure compass and then not use the interactive map, and that's fine. But it does yield good rewards. The NRE menu 30, it makes it so you don't have to go into the inventory to eat something, like whether it be like something health related, revival, or anything that involves buffing yourself for like defense, stamina, anything like that. And then you also get like the name cards, so you get some pretty good stuff from the reputation rewards, so definitely do that. The next thing I would do is resin, use my resin. So again, I played last night, and what I did yesterday is I farmed some of the world boss materials, and then I did a little bit of farming for adventure experience. Now in my case, today is Sunday, so I would look on my Notion and I would see what I can farm on Sunday. Now clearly that is everything, so in my case I would see what I have the least of. So I would go through each weapon and see what I need the most, or if it's like weapon, or if it's a material where multiple characters use, I would farm that one because of the fact that more than one character needs it, and so I would benefit from having more versus just one character. So in this case, I really need some pieces of Edicetterite, and then if anything, I really need some Edicetterite. I have a decent amount of Boreal's Milk's Tooth, which I think like 3 or 4 characters actually use it. I really need to level up my prototype ranker, but I'm a little weak for gems right now, so that's why I haven't leveled it up. Oh, whoops, I do not want to do that. I do need some Mist-Veiled Elixir. Because I only have 100 resin, I can only do so much, so I'll probably just farm this kind of periodically throughout the day just to make sure I get, my use out of it. Slingshot, unfortunately, Tainari still has this. I can, however, level this up. The only reason I haven't is because I still haven't hunted for the fatigue agents. The flute uses Boreals. I'm okay for that for now. Thrilling Tales, Boreals. I'm okay for that for now. Favonius Warbow, I just recently changed Amber to this because I forgot that I had it, but in this case it needs the Dandelion Fetter Chains, or the Fetters of the Dandelion Gladiator. I can level this up if I want to, and then I would end up needing to farm for the next level of materials. And then the Debate Club, I didn't even realize he still had this, but the only reason I'm not leveling it up is because I plan on doing the Dragonspine quest that ends up giving you the Snow Tomb Star Silver, and that is actually one of Verminia's best in slots. So I would rather use that rather than level up a weapon that I'm just going to change later. Now, in the instance where it's going to be a while before I get that weapon, like for example, for Tainari, one of his best in slot weapons as a free-to-play is the Prototype Crescent. So as of right now, I don't have a bow billet. And I also don't have too much ore to be able to craft one. So in the meantime, if I can buy a bow billet, I would do a bow billet. Or if I could farm like a weekly boss and just hope to God I get lucky. Now, because again, it has not reset yet, I can't claim any treasure, and I don't have any other weekly bosses that are open yet. So I've already done Dvalin, and I've already done Andreas. So that's another habit you want to make use of, is try and do the weekly bosses if you can. Because they yield some pretty good stuff, and that's something I never really had the habit of doing. I never fought the weekly bosses, especially since they're important for talents when you get to higher levels. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to farm for Heiza's weapon today, or at least like do a little bit of farming because I actually do not have these. So we need the pieces of Edicetterite, which I'm pretty sure that one is in Liyue, is it? Right? I think that one is in Liyue. It says I haven't discovered it yet, which it's right here, so I don't know why it's saying I haven't discovered that one yet. Now, in reality, if I had full 200 resin and it wasn't Sunday, then I would actually farm the adventure experience ley lines instead. I very rarely farm Mora ley lines. If I am very low on Mora, then I will, but typically I only ever farm the adventure experience because that's what I feel like I need the most of. Now, the only character that needs to be leveled up to 40 is actually from a name. These are all of the characters I have right now. I haven't made any wishes on the limited banner. Now, I did hear a rumor that Neuvillette is supposed to have a rerun in 5.2 in the second phase, so I am trying to save up for him. So, since I started this account, I have 8,508 Primogems and then 4 free wishes that I got from something. I don't remember where I got those from. But that's my goal, is to save it for Neuvillette, because I do want Neuvillette, but I have no clue if I'll be able to do it. My goal right now is to save 11,000 Primogems, so I'm not doing too bad. So for Heiza's weapon, I ended up being able to farm enough pieces of Edicetterite, so it'll be okay for now, but whenever Wednesday gets here, I'll definitely spend that day farming some more just to make sure I have my weapons materials. Thankfully, I don't have that big of a roster of characters that I don't have to focus, like, hyper-focus on, like, so many characters, because I only have, let's see, that's 9, I believe. I only have 9 characters, which is actually pretty good. So I have 40 resin left, and because I really do want to get Fremine leveled up, and I really want to get him to level 40 so he's up there with everybody else, and I also do plan on doing the Dragonspine quest to be able to get the Snow Tomb Star Silver. I don't know if it's like a quest, but it's like you have to find these boxes to open a door, and then in that chest will be the weapon. And so, in all honesty, I also probably should have been pre-farming for the Snow Tomb Star Silver, just because it is a guaranteed weapon that we will get, but I'll worry about that later. But for now, I have 47 resin left, so I'm going to use the last bit of resin to actually farm a little bit of papers, just to be on the safe side, just because, again, like, I farm the papers pretty much every day, especially if I'm trying to get multiple characters leveled up. Now, in the future, though, we're going to end up getting more characters, so that's definitely going to be something I want to do even more often, and then as I level up, then I'll get better stuff. But, I don't want to use any fragile resin, because I do have fragile resin available, but it's just kind of like, if I run out, I run out of resin. Like, I'm not going to waste the fragile resin just because I want more papers. I also do like the ley lines just because they technically can yield you like materials too because of the enemies that you fight. But like I said, I try and make it a habit to farm these every single day along with whatever weapon is available that day, just because it's just like I'm gonna need those more than anything, especially in the future whenever I'm leveling up characters. Now, even if all my characters are like kind of leveled up to the limit they can be, I still will farm them because why not? But once Frem's leveled up, I'm not going to be leveling up any characters for a minute, only just because I will be focusing on trying to make sure I farm enough materials. So when I do the Ascension quest, I will have like, how did you miss that? I will have an abundance of materials and I won't have to worry so much about like farming. which I will get into once we get this last 20 resin used. Okay, so we've used pretty much all the resin that we can use. Now, if it was like a fresh day and I had 200, then I would basically farm until I had no more left, like any person would do. And then if I'm going to be playing throughout the day, then I will farm periodically the papers or weapons materials throughout the day as well. So there'll be a time where it's like my resin very rarely caps unless I do not play for like a day or so. Now, in this case, again, I wanted to level up Frem, so I can level up from an A. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I like to just use these because why not? But I shouldn't get in the habit of using those, but I mean, it's just like whatever. The way I level up my characters might seem a little weird, but like it's just so I can use like lessen kind of the amount of like a specific type of material. Now, like I don't want to use all of these, like, but these eventually, like the smaller ones, the Wanderer's Advice, literally will be of like, you at some point you'll stop getting them anyway, because the game, even like later in the game, even the events, they only ever reward you with adventures experience and heroes wit anyway. So it's just like, I just use these because why not? But they're good where if you only need like a little bit of EXP to level it up and you don't want to waste these because of the fact that they give you so much experience. But it's like, I don't want to use all of my heroes wits to level them up. Like I actually want to kind of save some unless it's like I have to. But I ascended Frem, I think like last weekend. No, not last weekend, last week. So that's why he's already past level 20. And then at this point now, I need to farm transoceanic pearls, the Coppelius, and get some Shavada Jade fragments. So at this point, all of my characters are level 40, and like I said, I'm going to get the Snow Tomb Star Silver for him, so I'm not going to worry about leveling up his weapon now. I also need to throw on some random artifacts, because in early game, you don't want to focus so hard on artifacts. Just if you have something that they can use, even if it's just random shit, then just pop it on them and level it up for now, and then just use those artifacts later on when you do get something that they actually need. So the next thing that I would actually do is farm actual character materials. So yesterday I also did this. This is also a habit that I do every single day because again, this is my daily farming schedule. And well, I would say this isn't necessarily daily because these materials only level up. They only replenish every 2 to 3 days, and I typically don't go to other people's worlds. I just only play in my own world. So what I did yesterday is I went through every character and I went and farmed these local specialties up until pretty much the max amount. Now, the max amount that you need for a character to get to level 90 is 168. Unless you have a character, multiple characters that use the same materials, then you would take that 168 and multiply it by however many characters use that, and that is how much you'll need total. So again, this is something I keep track of in my Notion. So for every character right now, pretty much most of my characters they don't use the same materials, thank God. So I have like Amber's, I have all of the essential materials for her local specialties. For Lisa, I've already farmed them, so I have to wait a couple of days before I can get some more of these, but it's not too much to worry about. For Kaya, I have them all. For Frem, I have more than enough. For Tainari, I got what I could get yesterday because I have not been farming for his materials. For my main, for Lumine, I'm still in the midst of farming those. I think I can go ahead and start looking for these. I think they've already replenished, at least most of them have. Barbara, I still need to look for hers. And then Lynette, I've gotten all of them. And then since I just started building Heizo, like pretty much I think the day after I got him, the Onikabutos are very hard to search for, especially since they're on like trees and stuff. So sometimes if I like really don't feel like looking for it, I just might not farm that character that day, but I at least would farm a character where it's not going to be that bad. Like for example, Lamine and Barbara aren't going to be that bad. So then what I used to do is I still use the interactive map, but what I do is I'm like, okay, I need to farm local specialties for a character, I would pull up the interactive map and I would you know, select the material that I need for whatever I need to find, and then I would go search for that material for that character, and up until I pretty much got everything that I could get. Now, again, in another quality of life update, Genshin made it so that if you click the character's local specialty and then click go to collect, it actually pulls it up on the map, and then it doesn't tell you like what exactly, like it only tells you how many are in that area and not actually where they are. It just tells you a general location of where they are and how many are there, versus the interactive map saying like, okay, hey, these are exactly the spots you need to be looking in. But it's still just like, it's still pretty helpful because this is something that we didn't have when the game first came out, so this is a lot easier for newer players and veteran players alike when it comes to looking for local specialties. The only thing about this is that, like, as much as I love it, it's still just kind of like you're running around in circles until you get all of them for that little collection area. So it can get a little bit tedious at times, so you do kind of have to be patient unless you do like the collection material area and pull up the interactive map. But as of right now, I don't have the interactive map pulled up, so I'm basically just running around in circles until I find what I need. Also, whenever you are exploring, make it a habit to pick up like absolutely everything. Now, sometimes I don't pick up everything, but at the same time I do, because eventually, especially if you need to craft like food and stuff, if you don't have like a healer on your team at the moment, then if you have an abundance of materials, then you can make like plenty of food and like a whole bunch of food and stuff like that, and buffs if you like to do that. I don't really like to buff my characters with food. I just want my characters to be strong on their own because of their artifacts and their weapons, and not so much because of the food. So that's why I tend to not like those like showcases of like if you know what I'm talking about, like some people like it showcase characters and then say, oh, my Chi-Chi did like 300,000 damage. But then you notice at the bottom that they have like 5 million food buffs on them. And it's just like, yeah, that's not natural damage though. Like, I don't like when they use buffs because it doesn't actually like show what the character can do. Like, you probably could do 300,000 with the Chi-Chi if you really put your mind to it. I don't really know if she can actually do that much, but I think Chi-Chi tends to be a support character. But also, you can collect a lot of adventures experience from chests too, so if you want, you can also make it a habit to farm chests. So that's another thing that I like to do when it comes to exploration and farming. So that's my farming section. Is I look for all the chests, especially if I'm doing like 100% completion for like that part of the region. And basically I would just do this until I run out of collection areas, where eventually it'll say all collection areas complete. I think that's what it says. So that means that you've gathered, wow, I can't believe it did that. So basically that just means that you've gathered all of the specialties that you can for every area that there is. And then at that point I would say, okay, I've gotten all the collection materials I can get. I'm going to stop farming for local specialties, and I'll farm it again within a couple of days. Or if I really want to, I could farm in other people's worlds. But like I said, I typically don't. If I do farm in other worlds, it tends to be I will pull up like another account of mine that I can travel to and farm in that world, assuming that what I want is open. Yeah, so it says collection in all recommended areas complete. So that means that I've gotten all of them local specialties that I can get for that particular local specialty. So in this case, I have 163, which if you want to count the 3, I have 166. So I'm just shy below what I need to get to level 90. But because we're still only just level 40, you know, we still got some time to go. But it's just, I like to have my materials and everything, especially if I'm about to ascend, because once I ascend, then my level of characters is going to go up, and hence that's why I farm so much for adventure experience, because I have 9 characters total and I want to make sure I get them all to the same level, because I don't like when they're all not the same level. So once I ascend to level 90, I mean, once I ascend to the next ascension level, the first ascension level, my world level is going to increase, and then I think I can level them up to 50, I believe. So depending on, oh, she's not ascended? I didn't even realize I never ascended her. Oh wait, no, I just can ascend her. Oh, that's right, because Traveler does not need world boss material, so she's a character I can ascend. So I essentially could be 2 levels right now, I just don't have the materials. So at some point, my characters need to be level 50, and then after I do the ascension quest, then I can get them all to pass level 50. Now, because of the amount of adventure experience I have 22,000 like basically saved up. I probably will basically hit the max that I can get, and then it'll just be back to the same thing of farming materials for my characters until the next ascension level. So I'm definitely gonna need to get through with the story though, because I need to farm the runic fangs for Heizo, and I want to make sure he's leveled up with everybody else. But for the most part, if anything, I pretty much will be able to level up everyone but him, because I have easy access to the ascension materials. So in the meantime, what I would probably do, like I don't have any resin right now, so we're basically can only farm the local specialties if they're in the world, and the mob boss materials. So make that a habit too to do the mob boss materials. I sometimes like to focus on the local specialties first, and then definitely be farming for adventure experience, because of the fact that once I ascend, I'm gonna have to pretty much ascend everybody. So I'll probably ascend everyone to 50 first, then work on the ascension quest, or I'll probably end up just farming. But because of how much adventure experience I have, I will probably run out before I can get everyone leveled up to where they need to be. So that's something I have to be mindful of, hence why I, farm every day for adventure experience. Now the good news is every character is at level 40, so that means I can just farm and farm and farm and farm for adventure experience every single day for the next couple of weeks. And then once I deem myself that I have enough, then I'll still be working on like getting this stuff for the next ascension too. But once I deem that I have enough adventure experience, then I will do the ascension quest once I have everything for the next ascension level, and then I can just ascend every single person, and or at least as many people as I can, without fearing that I'll run out of adventure experience before I actually finish leveling everybody up. So that's just something I get into the habit of doing every single day, just to make sure with local specialties. Mob boss materials are not hard. You can just either pull up the interactive map for them, or you can simply just go to your adventure handbook and look at enemies, and then whatever you need, just go through here, click it, and it'll show you only a couple of areas until it decides to quote-unquote refresh. But that's why you have the interactive map, because it shows like every enemy, so you can basically farm all over the freaking map for hours for mob boss materials. And I actually do like that, because you can never have too many of those. So some other stuff I would do is, if I would like to go ahead and start working on the percentage of exploration progress, I would start looking for chests, I would start looking for Sealies, I would start doing all of that stuff. Since I need to record another video, I probably won't do it in this one, but what I will do is like an exploration video. We can start actually working on getting 100% in a lot of these places, and we also need to start get started on the Liyue storyline, so we can actually get to the chasm, so I can farm for Heizo. So that's something that I like to do. And then I would say that lastly, what I would do, I would typically finish up after I've done exploration. But if I don't need to record any quests for a video, and it's just like little world quests and stuff like that, because I want to clear out my log, then I would do some world quests. Very rarely, I mean most of the time I do some of the Archon quests off camera. But if you actually would like to see me do the Archon quests off camera and don't care if I don't read it, then I mean, it's fine. Then, just say that, and that's what we'll do. But typically what I do every day if I'm not doing quests is, like I said, I do my daily commissions, I do expeditions. If there's an event going on, then I'll do the daily part of the event that I need to do, so I can get the primo gems and not miss out on it, because that's something I'm trying to, especially as a free-to-play, I have to get everything that I can. Then I'll farm for my characters, I'll do some exploration to go towards my exploration progress for 100%. And then if I've already finished one region, then I'll just move on to the next region and call it a day. And then if there's any world quests that I want to do that that I'm just like, I could just do this on my own, then I will do that as well. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and make sure you also subscribe. Again, if you kind of like these like little like this is what I do, or just like if you like to see me actually properly do my farming schedule, this was just kind of like a short rendition of how I do my farming schedule. And again, this is something I pretty much try to do every single day. If I don't have the time, then at most what I will do is I will do my commissions, I will do my expeditions, and go, and if I have some weekly stuff available that won't take long, for example cooking food, then I will do that too, so I can at least get my battle pass experience. So again, this was my daily farming schedule. I try to do this every single day. Very rarely are there times, well, unless I'm lazy, very rarely are there times where I don't do this every day. And yeah, sorry, I know there hasn't been too many videos. I've recorded, like I said, 3 parts of my free-to-play challenge, and I tried not to make too much progress without recording, because it's just kind of like, I don't want to do so much and then not have anything to actually record when I do record. So that's why I was like, well, let me do a daily farming schedule, because I bet people wonder like how I actually farm, how I actually execute everything. And again, I keep up with all of this in my Notion, so then once I'm finished farming, I would go through on my Notion and then write down everything that I farmed. So for example, I would update Lumine's Windwell Asters, because I don't have 133 now, I have 166. So I would just go through every character that I farmed today and then just update the whole page, my Notion page. And basically the way I have it set up is it keeps track of like, this is the total number and this is how many I actually have, and then like it'll say like 100%, 20%, all that other good stuff. So I try and keep track of most of this stuff every single day that I play. And this is just because it's what I like to do. You don't have to do it, but just like if you feel like this is just too much for you, then everyone can play the game how they want to play. So for me, I like the exploration aspect, not so much the story aspect. And the only reason I don't really like the story aspect is because 9 times out of 10 the dialogue is just too freaking long. So I like to explore, get primo gems, all that other stuff. Like I basically pay for the primo gems. Play for the primo gems, not pay, play. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm not gonna lie, as I'm recording this will probably be up before every other free-to-play video, but hopefully I can start getting that going if I have the energy to edit, just because it's like my mom's been sick, so I've been taking care of my mom. So, and I've also been busy with homework and work as usual, so your girl gets eepy very easily. So if you like this video, again, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and make sure you guys subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!